Hello and welcome to the live stream. I'm going to give you my thoughts, my initial thoughts on the Baby Reindeer show. I binged it in one night, the night it came out. So I have watched it. So I'm able to give a view. I know a lot of people have only watched the interview and they're giving thoughts. Well, I've actually watched the whole thing. I haven't seen the interview though. I'm going to break that down with you guys. We're going to watch it for the first time together. So I'm not going to be very interactive in chat at all. I want to keep this on topic. Any questions in chat? We have moderators in. I will be giving out some more wrenches shortly as well to people that haven't got one, that did have one. So I'm going to give you my brief overview of what it is and what it's about. Okay. There will be spoilers. If you haven't watched it, I would suggest, if you can hear squeaking, it's my dog outside. If you haven't watched Baby Reindeer and you plan to watch it, I would say probably best to not watch this. It's up to you, but there will be. Yeah, there will be spoilers. What I'm going to do, we're going to give you a brief overview, my thoughts, and then we're going to start looking at the actual interview with Piers Morgan. And it's not over because there's more to go. She's now asking for more money, but we'll get into that in a moment. And now they're talking about Richard Gadd being interviewed with Piers Morgan. So this is an ongoing story. I watched the first 5 minutes, says Nikki. It's one of those Marmite shows. You either love it or hate it. Personally, the first 5 minutes got me. It won't let me give you a wrench, Nikki. I don't know why my phone's not working. It's not letting me do it. I think it's the app. The app's messed up. So I'm just going to go in and see if I can update my app because maybe that's what's causing it. So just give me a sec. Is there a YouTube update is the question. Manage apps and devices. See details. Nope. There's not a YouTube. I don't know why, but I can't give out wrenches. Anyway, I will do when I can. At the moment, it's acting really strange. So Baby Reindeer is one of these things that pulls you in from the beginning. When I seen it come on that night, I thought it's got nothing to do with reindeers. It's about stalking. And my initial thought was, this looks a bit crap. So I go on to IMBD and the review, there was lots and lots of 10 out of 10s. Okay. By the way, I'm not going to be reading chat, guys. I just want to say welcoming everybody. If you're watching on the replay, I'm going to try and keep the chat down as less as if anyone's in chat who was here on my stream earlier, if you can let everybody know the situation that we're in, if you don't mind, and that I won't be answering any questions about the topic that I mentioned. And I won't be in chat much at all. I'm catching the odd thing. Okay. So it starts off with the Richard Gadd is the guy who stars in Baby Reindeer on Netflix. Okay. He's not only he's the one who wrote it. He's the one that he says experienced the entire thing and he stars in it, which is very rare these days. So they didn't get an actor to play him. He played himself in the true story. Now, they say it's a true story. They don't say it's based on a true story. They say this is a true story. Okay. So, brief overview at the very beginning of the first episode, you don't know what you're going to get. He's in the bar. He's a failed comedian. He's not getting any gigs, so he has to work in a bar. And this lady walks in, very overweight, fuzzy hair, not the sort of girl that you'd see him going for. And she comes in, sits down, and he's nice to her. He does the thing that I often do to people when they look like no one has ever given the time of day. And he was nice to her, and he says, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And she couldn't afford it. And he says, "Don't worry, it's on me." Okay, so that was it then. That was enough to pique her interest. Now, I'm guilty of this. I've been really nice to people in the past, really nice to people who have just shit on me and ended up being a bit psychopathic, as we know. And that does happen. It's happened to me, not in real life, mine's online. Real life, I can't imagine. And it does make you more wary of people as well. So she then started coming in every day, and they got on great at first. Now, this is in the show. This is what he says happened. Okay. He says everything happened as he said. So she's coming in and she starts getting a bit flirty, and his mates at work, they start saying, "Oh, she's into you," and all this stuff. And she asks for his number. He doesn't give it her, but he gives her an email address. So she starts emailing him, pretending that it was texting from her iPhone. So she would send an email and then she would put "from my iPhone" to make it look like she had a phone and she was doing it from a phone. She told him that she was a solicitor. Well, she was a lawyer or a paralegal. She was looking to be a barrister. I think this is right. I might be wrong because I'm going by memory now. It's been a couple of weeks. So, don't quote me on this, but that she worked in the solicitors, and she was a paralegal, I think. And she was working up to being an actual solicitor, wanting to be a barrister, had her own business. She had all these holidays, and she was talking about all these friends. And it was clearly obvious that she was a bit of a Billy bullshitter. So over time, can you just shut that big window, please? Thank you. So over time, she started getting clingier and clingier. And he's tried to like back off a little bit, as you do. And it got worse. So one night he followed her home and he's seen where she lived. And she lived in this tiny little ground floor bedsit type thing, really minging, dirty. You can see that she didn't have the lifestyle that she made out. Over the show, things got pretty dark, and episode 4 is the darkest of the whole thing. And he does go into it, and again, he's saying this is a true story, that he was groomed by a man in that industry, because he was trying to get into the into TV. He was trying to be a comedian. He wanted to be a star, and he says that he was groomed by a male in that industry. We don't know who it is. Then there are a lot of internet sleuths, I'm told, that are on the case of this. And Richard has actually come out today and said, "Please stop this internet sleuthing. You're ruining my life. People are looking to see, they want to work out, first of all, they wanted to work out who Martha is, the real life Martha, because that's not a real name. And then they wanted to work out who the guy was who groomed him and subsequently drugged and RAPE'd him. Okay. It's not very nice. It's very dark. When I got to episode 4, I said to some people, there's a couple of friends that said they wanted to watch it. And I actually said to them, just FYI, it is, when you get to episode 4, this show is very, very dark. It's not for everybody. So episode 4 has got nothing to do with her. And it's all about what happened to Richard Gadd in a hotel room on some crazy drugs. So anyway, when you've watched episode 4, you then start to understand a little bit why this guy hasn't gone to the police yet, because he didn't go to the police about what happened to him in the hotel room. So why would he go to the police over some woman who is just a bit obsessed with him? That's the way that he seen it. Though some of his story to me didn't add up, and I am a little bit suspicious. A little bit suspicious. It does, right? You don't actually see it, but it does depict man on man, the RAP word. Okay, so if that is a bit distressing, you don't actually see it, but you know it's not very. It's not actual graphic, but it's distressing. Okay, and it's not the sort of thing that I would suggest anybody under 18 watch. I don't know. I think it was an 18. I'm not 100% sure if it was an 18 or a 15, but it was very much messed up. Anyway, so what he's trying to say towards the end, when he's got this girlfriend, and this is where it gets a bit confusing as well. His girlfriend is trans, so it's a male to female transgender woman. Okay, and actually she's a real life trans in real life. She's apparently an actress, and he had this girlfriend, and he said that the reason why he went to a trans dating site was because he was confused about his sexuality because of what happened to him in the hotel room with this entertainment boss guy who people are trying to work out who he is. Apparently is like he can get people into places. That's all I know. And again, I don't want people speculating from this stream who this person is. If people want to go and try and find them out, there is other channels and I'm guessing forums you can go to. These forums, the internet sleuths, are the ones that found the real Martha. They narrowed down the pub. They narrowed it all down. So what happened was, I'm not going to go into all of the detail, but he split with his girlfriend, and towards the end, this Martha lady sort of molested him, should we say, in a canal. And which is what I didn't get at the end, he let it all go. He let the lot go. He could have had her convicted, and he chose not to. And at the very end, the bizarre thing for me is that he was like talking to her again. And this is when I started to get this feeling that there was some Billy bullshitting going on here, because it didn't sit right. You know, when something doesn't sit right, well, that didn't sit right for me. Yeah, the app's not allowing me to give wrenches out. I'm sorry, it won't let me. I don't know why. It's not. So apologies for that. So hopefully there's enough moderators in here already. So I'm not really seeing chat. Excuse me. So that's where we're at with this. Now, the guy, Richard Gadd, when this experience happened to him, I think it was around 5 or 6 years ago-ish. I'm not 100%. I know he's only in his late 20s, early 30s now, so it couldn't be that long ago. He then, because he wanted to be a comedian, and he made it into his own little play, should we say, and he took it to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is where you've got the main Edinburgh Comedy Festival, and then all of the comedians, or hang on a minute, he's okay digging a hole, isn't he? Oh, I know, but he's digging a hole. Gizmo's digging a hole. Digging a massive hole in the garden. Sorry about this. I told you I'd get distracted by something, and it's the bloody dog. So where were we? We'll stop him then. Distract him. Distract him with milkshake. That's right. Someone's walked past. Sorry about this. So now Richard Gadd took this to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, and he started playing in like pubs and stuff, because there's like the smaller acts who don't get into the main comedy festival would go around the area in pubs and so on. And he took this play, and this play was very successful, that he said was based on a true story. He changed the names of the woman and himself, and it got that popular that Netflix snapped it up. Next thing you know, it's a show. So that is a very brief 10-minute to 15-minute overview of the show. I think it's like 7 episodes, not 100%. And it's a good show. Okay, it pulled me in from the beginning. I put it on, I didn't know what to expect, and I binged it in one night. So fast forward to today, it comes out, it got really big, and it went straight to #1. Everyone's watching it. Well, not everyone, but most people are watching it. And then people were saying, we're going to find the pub. The internet sleuths were out. They wanted to find the real Martha, and they managed to track her down. So I'm just going to show you now, just give me a moment, some of the articles that I'm on about. So people were trying to find the real life Martha. This was a couple of weeks ago. Now, I didn't cover this straight away because I wanted to see how it played out, because I had a feeling that this was gonna get bigger and bigger, and it has got bigger and bigger. So when people were trying to find her, when people were trying to guess, that is when I thought, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to start doing this sleuth, because it could end up into a hate campaign. And they found this lady called Fiona, right? Now, hang on a sec, sorry. Oh, and another thing to add as well is that in the show, he finds out that she is already convicted for stalking. That's another thing. And this is what I didn't get, because when he finally goes to the police and they say to him he's already got a conviction for stalking, at that point they would have dragged him in. But the idiot went to her flat and told her that he loved her, but he had to break up with her. This is where it gets a bit stupid, okay? This is where things get really, really, really stupid. Yeah, Susan, but I've just caught that. Take care, Ted. I'm not looking at chat, Ted, at all today. I've just caught a tiny little bit. So this is where we're at the moment. Now, in real life, apparently she was convicted. Again, this is in the story, in the show. If you haven't watched this show and you're not interested in it, then I would suggest don't watch this tonight. All right. If you've watched the show and you're interested, then watch tonight's show. Okay. But, I'm not going to be offended if people don't want to watch. So this is Martha from inside the show. Now, the reason why it's called Baby Reindeer is because that's what she called him. She had a little nickname for him, my little baby reindeer. But apparently he'd got convictions of doing this. She's done this before. Okay. So there she is there. We're going to get into the interview in a moment. So this is why I've sat back, because people were saying it was this woman called, I think it was Fiona, is it Harvey? I'm not 100%. And they thought they'd found her. Now, it turns out that it was her. Apparently this is her, this Fiona Harvey. That's the actress. And they managed to track her down. Now, this is what I didn't get. At that point, when they tracked her down, the real life Martha, all she had to do was deny it was her. She could have gone to Netflix and said, "Right, I'm going to sue you," right? You've given away too much information, and it's made it blatantly obvious who I am, or something like that. But she didn't. She admitted it was her. She could have just denied it. Next thing you know, she's going to appear on Piers Morgan on, I think it's his YouTube channel, in an interview. This I find really bizarre. So it went from, yeah, it's me. No one knew who she was. Yeah, you found me. The internet sleuths have found me. and now I'm going to give my side. Now, I haven't watched the interview because I wanted to watch it my first time with you guys. I've given you a little brief overview of this. There she is in the pub there. Yeah, Fiona Harvey, her name. So that's her in the show. And so last week she did an interview with Piers Morgan. Okay, the real life Martha did an interview with Piers Morgan. So we're going to be breaking that down. But before we get to that, now Martha is apparently saying that she was only paid £250 by Piers Morgan for her appearing on his show. And as it's got like 11 million views, and Piers Morgan, his YouTube channel, has already made $250,000 in revenue and whatnot, she now wants more money. All right. She's asking for more money. Now, in the meantime, now Piers Morgan wants to interview Richard Gadd, who is the guy that was in it. There's just so many questions that I have in my head. Why didn't Netflix originally approach the original Martha for her side before putting this on? I find that pretty sloppy of Netflix. If Why wouldn't they approach her and say to her, you know, we've picked up this play from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. This guy, Richard Gadd, he's going to star in this show with us. He wants us to do a show. And he's saying that you did this and we're not going to name you. But they didn't do that, as far as I'm aware anyway. Apparently, she's saying that she knew nothing about this. And he could have prosecuted her at the end, but he didn't. And right at the very end of Baby Reindeer, he's outside a house, I think. It doesn't scream to me that this guy was that traumatized. And if he was that traumatized by her, then why would he then go out and make a play, reliving it every day, and then get snapped up by Netflix? I have a sneaky suspicion that he isn't telling the whole truth either. But I need to see her side. So we're going to catch her interview now. Right, hold on a minute. My shopping's here. Hang on. Right, okay. What are people saying in chat? Yeah, it won't let me do anything on my phone. It's really irritating me now. It won't let me do anything. 41 likes. Please hit the like button if you enjoy the content. 108 watching. I should do more reviews, really, because I do a lot of I do watch a lot of shows, like especially usually it's more horror and thriller. But hello, payphone checker. I hope you're well. Richard Turpin, hello. Thank you for being here. The Space Cat, Bevlar, Amethyst. Hello, everybody. Welcome. So this article's from yesterday, and this one says that Piers Morgan is reflecting on his interview last week with Baby Reindeer's real life Martha, arguing that Fiona Harvey was failed by Netflix. Morgan told ITV's Lorraine that Netflix had not done enough to protect her identity after she was tracked down by internet sleuths within days of Richard Gadd's series premiere. Morgan added that the streaming giant faced legal questions. This is what I'm saying, legal questions after billing Baby Reindeer as a true story. Yeah. So anyway, let's just get back into it now. Let's get into the interview. So just bear with me a moment. I'll get this up. My shopping's arrived, so Al's going to go and sort that out, I hope. But if the dog could escape out the gate, you see. So I might have to have a quick break. Okay, so this, I'm going to be showing clips of this, but let me just give me one sec. I just need to mute a minute. Okay, I don't want my dog escaping. Okay, 109 people watching. Please hit the like, guys, if you enjoy the content. Dislike if you don't. So we're going to see this now. I really would like to see his version of this, but I still suspect that there's lies on both sides. Right. So I think this was a week ago. Let me just double check. Again, I'm using this under fair use. This channel is not monetized. When was this? 6 days ago. This channel is not monetized, not making any money. It's purely for entertainment, parody, and criticism reasons under fair dealing. So I'm not going to be doing anything, I'm not going to be making any money out of Piers Morgan. We're just breaking down the interview. I've got to say that for legal reasons. And I'll be pausing it in between. So if you want to watch the whole interview, uninterrupted by my gob, then I'm going to put the link in here and you can go and watch it. But if you want to watch it with me, you're going to have to put up with me talking, I'm afraid, because if not, we'll get into trouble. Just bear with me. So we're at the point now. Baby Reindeer had been out for about 2.5 weeks on Netflix, 3 weeks-ish, yeah? It had gone to #1 and it was still on #1. I think it's still #1 now, actually. And there's a lot of money being coming in. Internet sleuths have found her and she's come out the woodwork. That's where we're at right now on this interview. So let's go.
Right of reply. And so, in her first television interview, she joins me now in the studio. Well, thank you for joining me, Fiona.
So this is the real one. This is Fiona. This is Martha. And she's going to give her view. I don't get why she went to Piers Morgan. Why wouldn't you go to Netflix and say, I want to give my side? I think if we see a part 2 of this, I know that was a limited series, but if we see a part 2 where Martha does her own show, I think this is an entire setup to make money, because nobody else has said this. What if these two orchestrated the entire thing and were in it together, creating all this drama and all this ooh-ah to get their show bigger? So if we see her playing herself in her own series of Baby Reindeer Part 2 or something. No, hold on. Go. No. Go. Sorry about this. No. I thought my puppy's about to escape. Just hold on. Oh, God. My puppy nearly got out in the road, so just... I can't do anything, honestly. God. Right, okay. So she's going to give her version. If all of a sudden, out of nowhere, let me do it now. If she suddenly has her own show, then I call bullshit on the entire thing. Here we go.
First of all, why have you decided to go public?
The internet sleuths tracked me down and hounded me and gave me death threats, so it wasn't really a choice. I was forced into this situation.
What do you hope to achieve in this interview?
I came on your show because you're a veteran broadcaster. I think you'll give me a fair hearing. You were persecuted yourself not so long ago. So that's why I've chosen this show.
Have you watched the drama?
Not at all. I've heard about the court scene, about the jail sentences and all this sort of stuff.
But you really haven't watched any of it?
I haven't watched any of it.
You're not curious to?
No, I think I'd be sick. It's taken over enough of my life. I find it quite obscene. I find it horrifying, misogynistic. Some of the death threats have been really terrible online. People phoning me up. It's been absolutely horrendous. I wouldn't give credence to something like that, and it's not really my kind of drama.
When did you know that you were the person being depicted in this? 5
years ago on BBC Breaking News, I saw Mr. Gad had written a play for the Edinburgh Festival, and he was holding up placards, MP's wife stalker, and all of this, and he'd called it Baby Reindeer. That's all I knew. And I thought, well, I've only met this guy 2 or 3 times. I don't know him. and left it at that. I should have possibly jumped it at that stage.
And when did you know that Netflix were doing something?
2 weeks ago. I had just moved flat, so it was 2 weeks ago past Saturday.
And how did you hear?
I saw on BBC Breaking News that he'd sold to Netflix, and both he...
Right, hold on a minute. This interview was 6 days ago. I'm guessing it wasn't live, but it would have been recorded pretty close to when this was aired. It had already been out on Netflix for 2 weeks then. So how come she's seen it on BBC Breaking News that he had gone to Netflix? The show had already been out. I don't believe that. That's a lie. I can just tell that was a lie. I'm good at spotting a Billy bullshitter. And that was a lie.
And this character, Martha, this Jessica actress, seemed to be promoting mercilessly.
Did you think then it was you that they were depicting?
I thought it was me they were depicting 5 years ago because of this MP's wife stalker article that had been a number done on me by the Sunday Mail 25 years ago when I was going for Donald Duer's parliamentary seat. So I knew, I had a vague idea then. The Daily Mail then approached me on the Wednesday, 2 weeks ago. So sort of 2 weeks tomorrow. But 2 weeks ago, if you see what I mean, and told me that I was getting death threats online, that I'd been outed as Martha. There were TikTok videos.
Were you online at all? Because you were before, but are you these days online?
I've come off Facebook as of yesterday.
Are you on X? What used to be Twitter?
No, I'm not.
Because you had an account.
Yeah, that's right. Years and years ago. I'm scared to Google up BBC Breaking News. I'm certainly scared to Google up the Daily Mail in case I am on it.
She's scared to Google BBC Breaking News. Like, why would BBC Breaking News be talking about this show? Now, I could understand if I get the Daily Mail. That's the sort of shit you're going to see. But she keeps talking about BBC Breaking News, and she reckons that's how she found out about this 2 weeks ago when the show had already been out for 3 weeks, and BBC Breaking News would not be saying that Richard Gadd has gone to do a Netflix show. It just wouldn't be on BBC Breaking News, you know. And if you look, she's got the again. I'm not an expert, right? I'm not you know, but I'm good at spotting a liar. And one of the things she seems to be doing to me is the sociopath stare. So the stare, like I've never watched this interview before. I'm just giving you my honest, genuine thoughts on this. You know, I'm just one person out of all these other people that are probably doing the same review. This is the sociopath stare. Okay, you can just see it on her face. Now, yeah, she's going to be nervous. She's on the TV. She's going to be anxious. I get that. But even so, the face doesn't seem right. It's very sociopathic because psychopaths are very willing and very, very conniving and very sly, and they can control their emotions in public. Sociopaths are very sly and conniving, but they can't control their emotions. So if you've got a sociopath, you can spot a sociopath easier than you can spot a psychopath. And she is definitely trying really hard to hide what she's really thinking. And that's why she's staring into him like this. She's even got like really dark eyes as well. Like
it in some bizarre circus.
That moment you realised it was you that they were depicting from what you were reading. The sleuths, as you say, had found your tweets. They compared some of the phraseology. They'd done the maths and they worked out this was you that was being depicted. How did that make you feel?
Absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. I couldn't believe he'd done that. And so long after first meeting, you know, we're talking 10, 12 years ago, really horrendous. I didn't know who to trust. I was told by the Daily Mail, don't trust those bleeps in Scotland. Whereas I found John Dingwall of the Daily Record completely wonderful, actually. He's acted with total courtesy. I couldn't believe this had happened.
I want to play a little clip. This is just some of the reaction to Baby Reindeer from members of the public.
She ends up becoming the craziest stalker I ever seen in my life.
And this is all a true story.
This is all a true story, yeah. and they've found the real woman online.
So I assume in the actual thing, they've obviously given her a different name. It's a different woman, but you know what I find? They always manage to find a similar looking woman, and the build tends to be the same.
I have a theory about this, though. I feel like he's done it on purpose because he knew that people would find her, and he wants to make her life hell a bit.
When you hear that, what do you think?
The final guy on there, I think is correct. I think he always wanted this to come out, to persecute someone, to take attention away from him and this rape allegation. And I just generally think he's got extreme psychiatric problems.
I mean, there's no doubt he has problems. I mean, if you watch given that he's written it about himself, if you watch the whole thing as I did, all 5, 6 episodes, whatever it is, he has a lot of problems. He's quite open about that. The question, I guess, which we'll come to, is how much of the way he depicts you is true. And your position is that it's just not factual.
It's a work of fiction. It's a work of hyperbole, as I've always said. And there are 2 true facts in that. His name is Richard Gadd, and he worked as a jobbing barman on benefits in the Holy Arms. And we met 2 or 3 times. Those are the only.
Well, let's go
facts.
let's go through some of these things. So you first met him. I mean,
so I've got to keep pausing it, as you know, because of fair use and giving commentary. Again, the link is in. I'll keep dropping it. If you want to go and watch the full interview, you can, without me talking. Excuse me. So she's just dropped the name of the pub. Now, I think that was also revealed by internet sleuths as the suspected pub, but she's also just confirmed that that's the name of the pub. Do you know, I'm going to go against the grain here, and I think she's definitely not right, in my opinion. And again, this is just my thoughts. But I thought something about him isn't sitting right with me at all, you know. But apparently Piers Morgan wants to get him on and interview him. Now, if that does happen, we'll be all over that straight away. We'll be breaking that down. I would like that to happen because remember, we've seen him. He's the actor playing himself, but he's acting. I want to see him being interviewed, not acting. I want to see him be put under pressure like she is, because at the moment we're seeing her under pressure on TV, and we've seen him, you know, acting cuts and taking breaks and retakes and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be much easier for him to bullshit. Do you know what I mean? So something just doesn't sit right here with him, and it never has done. So what she's saying is they met 2 or 3 times in the pub. She said 10, 12 years ago.
The show shows you.
Scooby died last year. Scooby hasn't just died. But yeah,
Coming in.
I don't want to talk about that, okay? I know, and I don't want to talk about what happened last night, guys, okay?
To a London pub, you've just named the pub, and he's working behind the bar, Richard Gadd, and he offers you a cup of tea. Is that what happened?
No, that's not correct. He didn't offer me a cup of tea. Nobody gets anything free from the Holy Arms. I was in for a meal with a drink of lemonade, and I was very, very hungry. I'm diabetic, so very hungry. So that's.
And did you talk to him?
He interrupted a conversation. There was another barman there, and he said, "Oh, you're Scottish," and basically commandeered the conversation. I was talking to somebody. It's pretty rude to interrupt. So he seemed to be obsessed with me from that moment onwards.
I mean, just speaking to you, I've never met you before, but you do look and sound very similar to the actress in the drama.
I haven't seen the actress. We're both Scottish. We've both got dark hair. She's considerably younger than me. I think she's about 18 years younger than me.
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 58. I'm a year younger than you. And I think Jessica, the actress, is about 40, 38, 40.
It says in the show that you proceeded to return to the same...
In the show, they said she was only about 38, didn't they? I think.
...pub time and again, but you never paid for a drink.
I don't drink alcohol. And
did you pay for anything that you had in the pub?
lemonade or soft drinks.
Would he give you free drinks? Or?
No, absolutely not.
Thanks,
This
Space
is sort of a
Captain.
depiction of me as a pauper who wouldn't stand around or stand a drink. It's nonsense.
It says that you told Richard Gadd he looked like a baby reindeer toy you once had as a child, hence the name of the show.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
true?
I appear to have written most of the show in my sleep. I dressed
Did you have a baby reindeer
I
toy?
had a toy reindeer.
So that's true.
And he'd shaved his head. That bit is true. And there were reindeers in the shops. It was Christmas time or something. It was a joke. So I have inadvertently penned the name of the show.
Right. But that is true.
That's true. That's a true fact.
Whilst bantering with you, Richard Gadd told you he'd like to hang your curtains. Is that true?
This, I think, was a holy arms joke about curtains and a lot of sexual innuendo.
He did say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that you...
Right, I just got to say, right, are people just not getting banter these days? I don't know about you guys, but can you imagine if us lot here, if somebody actually broke down our banter and it was taken seriously? Can you imagine? Like, there's innuendos flying all here, there, and everywhere on my channel. We banter all the time. We take the piss all the time. So, you know, if someone says, "Can I hang your curtains?" and you say, "Who were misses?" it's just a piss take. So I thought that she offered. No, hang on a minute. So didn't he said that one of his friends at work sent her a text about the curtains? You know, if you don't know what it's about, honestly, don't watch it. I'm just breaking down a show and an interview. If you haven't watched Baby Reindeer and you don't plan to, you're probably better off not watching tonight. This is purely focused on this show. It's a podcast. So let's go again.
Caught Richard Gadd looking through your window after he followed you home one day.
False.
You never saw him at your house?
I didn't see him at my house. I think it would be impossible to look through a window.
Did anyone else ever see him there?
No.
So as far as you were concerned, he never turned up at your place?
Correct.
I think
But the Netflix show has him doing that?
Yes, I believe so. I've been told that.
But that categorically didn't happen?
That categorically didn't happen.
Do you know what? I think she's telling the truth there, because if that, okay, surely that would go in her favor. If that was made up, then him going to her window, because that's what I didn't get. No, she's supposed to be stalking him, and in the Netflix show that is apparently a true story, he goes to her window and looks in. And if that part were true, but she would deny the whole thing, she would say, yeah, that bit's true. And then it would look like he was stalking her. The fact that she's saying that didn't happen is giving more weight to she's telling the truth. And let's not forget that Richard Gadd, by his own admission in Baby Reindeer, is on a lot of drugs. And he was on drugs that were when he said he went to was he a producer or something, this guy, his hotel room, he was given drugs, and then he was given more drugs, and then he was given, was it DMT? He was given all sorts. So who knows where his brain was at? He took some crazy stuff in, and even stuff that he'd never even heard of. So, you know, we've got to take that into account as well. Is that, you know, he's off his face.
In the course of your relationship with Richard Gadd, you send him 41,000 emails, 350 voice messages, 744 tweets, 48 Facebook messages, and 106 letters.
That's simply not true. If somebody was sending somebody 41,000 emails or something, they'd be doing how many a day? Lots.
Well, they'd be obsessively
yeah.
Have we got any evidence? This is the question. Where's the evidence? Yeah, it does look drugged up, Cara. So I'm just catching the odd bit of chat. I will do a bit of questions at the end. I think we're going to have to do this, and we'll probably do the other half tomorrow, 44 minutes. Yeah, we'll probably keep this down to, we're on 10 minutes. We'll do to there, and then we'll do the second half tomorrow night. It does look really drugged up. And again, I'm not knocking him, but if you're on DMT, which is some serious shit, you know, you're going to imagine all sorts of stuff. You just don't know, do you? But she looks sober as a judge. So I don't know. Yeah, if you watch the show, Nicola, he's doing. He goes to this hotel room with this producer where he said he was RAP, you know, and he was given like your normal drugs, you know, your normal stuff, you know, your white powder and all that, and then he goes on that he opened this special box and there was this, I think it was DMT, it was some really crazy shit, and he doesn't remember much apart from waking up with a sore bottom. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely no, it's absolutely no.
What did you send him?
No, none of that's true. I don't think I sent him anything.
You never sent him anything?
No, I think there may have been a couple of emails exchanging, but that was it. Just jokey banter emails.
Netflix have said that these details are the real ones. That this is exactly
completely incorrect.
Where are they?
So you're denying sending anything to him?
There may have been a couple of emails.
Text messages?
No.
Facebook messages?
No.
Did you tweet him?
I may have done years and years ago.
You actually tweeted him numerous times.
No, it wasn't numerous. It was about 18 tweets there or 14.
It's quite a lot to someone who's not that well known.
But we were all friends. You know, it was banter.
Right, but it establishes you were contacted. That's in public.
Yes, I mean this.
Did you write him letters?
Public? No. I think when I saw the rate.
So who's the we all? Right, who's the we all? So it's she keeps saying we were all friends, right? Mr. Button, sorry. Yeah, he was given that. He reckons he was sort of forced it, Nikki. Well, I say forced it. He reckons he was groomed to take it. He reckons that he was. Well, you'd have to watch the show. Episode 4 is the one where you get all that. But you know, he's offered all these. He's offered jobs and gigs and whatnot, and he gets given all these drugs and stuff. It's serious stuff. But if you're on that, you wouldn't know much anyway, would you? So I don't know. But if these things happened. Right. Yeah, but given that on top of all this other stuff as well, though, Richard, is what I'm saying. It wasn't just that. That was the last one out of all the others on the night. And multiple nights as well. If these emails happened and these tweets, and has anyone seen them? I'm just asking a question. I don't know. Have I missed something? Does anyone know? Has anyone seen any of these evidence? And also tweets, public tweets, there'd be some sort of record, surely. And these people that he worked with, why won't they come out and say if this is true or not? You know?
Deep interview. That's actually incorrect. What I said there, when I saw that in The Guardian, I said, what a shame, it's not your fault. Something
you
like
did
that.
Write to him.
One later.
So you would say you only sent him a handful of emails. Yeah. You never texted him.
No.
You
tweeted him 18 times, you think. You never sent a Facebook message.
She's lying.
That's
and
right.
you wrote him one letter.
Yeah.
So why have they got all these details here which are supported?
Who is they? Netflix.
Who has sent all these things?
Correct. So I'm sorry?
Who has sent all this stuff to him?
I've no idea. I think he's probably made it up himself.
I mean, you could prove, I guess, quite easily it wasn't you.
Correct.
Because it'd all be on your computer.
Yeah, correct. That's right.
Would you be happy for someone to look at that?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
What do you have? What technology do you use?
Right. What technology do I use? A very, very old smartphone just now because the other one packed up a week before moving. That's it.
Because they're all sent from an iPhone.
Yes. So
but they believe it wasn't actually an iPhone ever being used.
Meaning
that someone was hiding the fact that they were actually not using it. They were pretending it was from an iPhone.
I don't really understand that.
Well, people can mask where they're sending stuff from.
Okay, right. I'm not technology whiz kid of the year. I wasn't doing that either.
I mean, obviously, when you make such an emphatic denial of the central point of the story, you're basically accusing both him but also Netflix of lying about it.
I am.
And that's pretty defamatory.
It's not defamatory if it's true.
No, it's defamatory that they've been to
Oh,
you.
I'm sorry. Yes, I misunderstood there. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't see how anyone could do 41,000 emails and all this kind of stuff, you know.
I don't know how much you know about technology, but are you aware that if it was you sending those emails, it would be very easy for the police, for example, to work out exactly where they come from? That the IP address would reveal
yes,
that.
I understand that, and it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all still be there.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails,
This is just a lot of rubbish. Yeah, so that should be stored there.
Well, they'd all be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
He's not got 41,000 emails. That's over a year.
Well, according to you, there's only a handful.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
Like
that.
What does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
10 emails.
Not 41,000.
Why doesn't she show her side then, you know? Like, why doesn't she say, okay, this is what I sent, and here's my sent. I know it was a few years ago, but I bet she could access that email address. I don't know about you guys, but I think that somebody on someone somewhere should show their sent items, you know. She's lying, in my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. I'm pretty good at spotting a Billy bullshitter, but not always. People do trick me sometimes. I'm getting better at spotting them though. She looks really different to the first sort of like 10 minutes or so. She's now looking quite anxious. I suspect she's getting a bit squeaky bum time. I suspect she might be telling a few porkies again. This is just my opinion, guys, okay? Before the lawyers come. We're all allowed to give an opinion. And I don't know what you guys think, but something doesn't sit right now. She's acting a bit strange.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if it's not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Yes, Martha cannot be me, because there are a number of allegations that have been put to me by journalists that are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's
but if the police looked at this and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law. And then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup.
I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but a few times now, I'm just going to go, where are we now? 50. Right. I'm just going to go back slightly. Okay. Watch her eyes and watch where she's looking. You're looking up to the right a lot, just her right. So up here, just watch her eyes again, that last minute or so.
And it stays on forever. But the point is, this was years and years ago. We were congratulating him.
But it would all still be there.
Yes, I understand that. Yeah.
And if you sent 41,000 emails,
this is just a lot of rubbish. Yeah, so that should be stored there.
Well, they'd all be there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got them.
He's not got 41,000 emails. That's over a year.
Well, according to you, there's only a handful.
Yeah. Right? I mean, how long would that take someone to type up?
How many do you think you sent him?
A handful.
Like what does that mean? How many?
Less than 10.
To the
10
right.
emails.
Not 41.
Right, there's a massive disparity between the two.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, if it's not...
So she's doing a lot of looking to the right now. A glance up and to the left supposedly means a person is telling the truth. This is what these specialists say, you know, the psychiatrists, psychotherapist people. Where a glance to the upper right, which is what she keeps on doing, signals deceit. So this is just a theory, okay? It's what they say. Doesn't mean that it's spot on, but this is what they're saying, all right? So if you're looking to the right, it's verbal constructed. And if you're looking to the left, high up, it's visual remembered. And if you're looking to the right, high up, visual constructed. That's what it's saying on here, and I'm going to get that up at the end of this. But just keep an eye on her eyes. They're very much to the right. This isn't an exact science, okay? This is just what they say.
Not you that sent all this, then clearly Martha cannot be you.
Yes, Martha can't help with me because there are a number of allegations
What?
that have been put to me by journalists that are simply not true. There's a whole play. It's not just the emails. There's a sexual assault in the canal. There's
But if the police looked at this and if you sue, for example, then this will go to a court of law. And then on discovery, people will look into all this. The phone company will be asked about evidence of all the text messages. The internet providers will provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages and so on. So all of this would come out in a court
in disclosure. Yes.
And you're prepared to do that?
Yes. Because I didn't write him the emails.
There you go.
Who do you think did?
You see that? Did you spot that? Let's watch that again. When he's saying that they'll find out, she's nodding. That's true because they will find out. But then when he says you didn't write the emails, watch.
Provide all the backup for the emails. Facebook will be asked about the Facebook messages and so on. So all of this would come out in a court case.
In disclosure, yes.
And you're prepared to do that?
Yes. Because I didn't write him the email.
There you go. I think she's lying now. I think that parts of it, you can see where she's telling the truth. I think a lot of what she said in the first 10 minutes is true. I think he's making a lot of this up. But I think that the bit about the emails, this bit now, the emails, she's lying here, in my opinion. And you can see, like, when he says they'll find out, she's nodding, looking at him, because yeah, they will. That's a fact. It's a yeah. But it wasn't you. No. And that's when the eyeballs dart after the right again, you know. But again, I really want him. I really want to see him under this sort of pressure. But there, that says it all to me. So that, let me just get, I'm not going to get it up on the screen because it's going to get this off. But that, what she's doing is apparently verbal constructed. Okay. And if she goes to the left, smack on, it's verbal remembered. If she goes slightly up, it's visual constructed. Just saying.
Emails.
Who do you think did?
I have no idea. I think he probably made them up himself. I've no idea. 41,000 emails.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't think that she did 41,000 emails. Look at her face there. Right. I think she's telling some of the truth here. So I don't think it was 41,000 emails, but I think she knows it was a lot. I think that I think that the way that she's saying it is 41. She keeps on focusing on the 41,000 over and over because I don't think it was that. I think he's exaggerated it to that. But I think she's done 4,000, between 1 and 4,000. And so she knows it's enough to be a stalker. But we see, if you're a liar, right, you're going to pick the things that you know aren't true and really push on that, because then you're going to be telling the truth. So if it wasn't 41,000, if she keeps on saying 41,000, it wasn't 41,000 because she knows it wasn't. But if he says, was it more than a handful, she gets anxious, which to me means it was sort of like 1 to 4,000, but it wasn't 41,000. You can just tell how she's working, how she's using the real things that are true and then the real things that aren't true to her advantage.
I mean, would
I don't know.
Would you accept that someone who did that would be very obsessive about someone?
Yes. I mean, that's a lot of emails. And why now? Why didn't you go to the police at the time? Or this sort of doesn't make sense.
I mean, the fact that Netflix have said this is based on reality, this is a true story, that Martha did, the real life Martha, the person they based this on, who Richard Gadd has written about, is the person that sent these. And he has the evidence to prove it. What you're saying is that proves you cannot be Martha.
Yes, and I would like to see Netflix's evidence for that, which would come out in disclosure as well.
And you're 100% sure it's not you.
Yeah, absolutely.
It goes on to say that you heckled Richard Gadd when he was appearing in his stand-up shows. Did you ever do that?
No.
Never.
No, it's not.
Did you ever attend his stand-up?
I think I went to one. It was a long, long time ago.
And you never shouted out or anything?
Why would I do that?
I don't know.
She's telling the truth. She's telling the truth, guys. Look at her eyes. She's looking at him. That's the truth. Okay? That is the truth. Who are you talking about? Who's a Chinese bot? She's telling the truth there.
Do you ever shout out at comedy shows? I don't know.
No, I don't generally go to comedy shows.
That's the truth.
So you never heckled him?
No.
Did you ever attack Richard Gadd's girlfriend because you were jealous?
No, I don't think he had a girlfriend. I think he's homosexual. But
he didn't have a girlfriend because he was homosexual. Did you watch the eyeballs again?
But no, I have never been to his house or attacked any girlfriend or anything like that.
There are lots of scenes where Martha is sitting outside his house all day for many days, sitting in a bus stop, sitting out there, walking around, and would occasionally shout at him. Did you ever do that?
No, I haven't seen the show, but I'm getting.
I have. So
yes, I got all the court allegations, the trial allegations.
I'm going to come to that, but on that point, did you ever turn up at his house?
No, I don't know. I don't know where he lived. No, absolutely not.
Truth.
So whoever's doing all this is somebody completely different.
This is a fictional character, hyperbole, exaggeration. This is a fiction.
Well, it's based on
of his imagination.
They say it's based on a real person.
Who's they? Netflix.
Well, Netflix and Richard Gadd.
Netflix are about as mad as Richard Gadd. If they're saying that, it's absolutely not correct.
Did you ever contact Richard Gadd's parents and threaten them?
No, that allegation was put to me by journalists. No.
Never happened?
No.
There's one key point in the drama that has Martha's character pleading guilty to intimidating Richard Gadd in court and sentenced to 9 months prison time. Let's watch.
You're charged with the stalking of Mr. Donald Dunn between the dates of the 14th of August 2015 and the 22nd of March 2017. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
You were charged with the harassment of Gerald Dunn and Eleanor Dunn between the dates of the 6th of June 2016 and the 22nd of March 2017. Are you guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
There'd be a record if this is true. There'd be a record.
Now, again, there is obviously a resemblance between.
Do you think so?
Well,
That's hardly flattering.
Well, I don't mean to flatter you.
Right, hold on a minute. Right, again, I've got to keep pausing it. There'd be evidence. Yeah. If that happened, there'd be court documents and everything. This is what I'm starting to think more and more. This is a LARP. This is a live action role play. Look how much attention it's getting. You know, like I've been ignoring this for a bit because I thought it was a good show, and a lot of people have been asking me to do show reviews. I might start doing one a week because I do watch stuff, or one a month. I don't know, but this doesn't feel right. Yeah, Belinda's been here ages. The reason why she hasn't got a spanner is because I got rid of them all, Belinda, a couple of weeks ago because I had a rogue mod who was deleting everything. So I wiped them off and I'm giving them back as and when, but my phone keeps freezing, so I can't do it. Just FYI, okay. Anyway, just going. I try not to look at chat because it distracts me. I wish Jane was here. Anyway, going back to that. But Jane is not obliged to be here at all whatsoever. We love Jane. Hello, Kat, my lovely. So there'd be a record. There'd be a record. Definitely.
Or not flatter you. I just think there is a resemblance, you know, having met you, and you both speak Scottish people.
Yeah.
But the fundamental point of this is,
saying, isn't it?
did you take part in that? So did you go to jail? Did you have a trial?
Of course not. Of course not.
Have you ever been to prison?
No.
Have you ever been charged with a
Nowhere
criminal
near it.
offence?
No.
Never.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So that scene is completely invented.
That's completely false, and I don't think the actress sounds like me. I mean, people compare me to Lorraine Kelly, but I look nothing like Lorraine Kelly. We all happen to have dark hair, and we're Scottish. You know, I think the actress is from Glasgow, I think, but I'm not sure.
But and which part of Scotland are you from?
I'm from the Central Belt.
What?
So a slightly different accent.
It's slightly different.
A Scot would know the difference.
A Scot would know the difference. A Glasgow accent's very different.
But that's a fundamental point here, because if they basically have a key point in their drama, which they say is a true story, which involves you admitting to intimidating Richard Gadd and getting a 9-month prison sentence. And that is completely untrue.
That's completely untrue. Very, very defamatory to me. Very career damaging. And I wanted to rebut that completely on this show. I'm not a stalker. I've not been to jail. I've not got injunctions, interdicts. This is just complete nonsense. But it's, I mean, you'll know yourself, if you're charged with a criminal offence, it will go fine. Bigger fine, whatever. Very few people go to jail.
Well, you'd have a police record
nowadays.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your name?
My surname was double barreled.
What was it?
Muir Harvey. So Muir Harvey.
M-U-I-R.
Yes.
Harvey.
When I got when the parents got divorced, I changed it to Harvey. I just dropped.
So your maiden name when you were born was?
Yeah, that's right.
Was
Muir. Yes.
So Muir. Hello, Mo. What's the matter, Mo? What are you after? You all right? So hang on a minute, right? So let me just go back a sec. I need to listen to that bit again. I got distracted because Al came in and he was talking about what that nice smell was and said it's my deodorant. So let me just listen to that last bit again. Sorry about this.
I've not got injunctions, interdicts. This is just complete nonsense. But it's, I mean, you'll know yourself, if you're charged with a criminal offence, it will go fine, bigger fine, whatever. Very few people go to jail.
Well, you'd have a police record
nowadays.
Yeah. Have you ever changed your name?
My surname was double barreled.
What was it?
Muir Harvey. So Muir Harvey.
M-U-I-R.
Yes.
Harvey.
When I got when the parents got divorced, I changed it to Harvey. I just dropped.
So your maiden name when you were born was?
Yeah, that's right.
Was
Muir. Yes.
Muir Harvey.
Yeah.
So that's quite an unusual name.
Yeah.
So if you'd ever received a criminal conviction for anything, it would be on police files.
Yes.
And what you're saying is you've never been even charged with an offence.
No.
Let alone the one that they.
Yes,
enacted.
I mean this is 9.5 months in jail is pretty serious.
Did Netflix ever contact you?
No, no one's contacted me.
Never.
Never.
Did Richard Gadd tell you what he was doing?
No, I had worked it out when I saw the festival Baby Reindeer advert on BBC.
The Edinburgh Festival, which is the show you did.
I just happened to see that. I was looking up the news for something else.
Because that's where he.
I just happened to see that.
Well, that's where he started telling the story, and that got picked up.
I'm shocked. And I think Martha then was a bar stool. I seem to recall reading that. It wasn't an actress or a person, it was a bar stool.
Let me just show a little clip. This is from Lorraine, actually, who you just compared yourself to. But let's take a look at this.
Well, other people do, actually.
This is Richard Gadd on Lorraine.
I just thought it was the right time to sort of try and bring a nuanced conversation to something. I think the human condition is extremely complicated, and I felt like a lot of art and TV in this day and age had maybe simplified it too much.
It's not a villain and victim storyline. I think you're left with a lot more than that. It's kind of too.
She looked different in real life. Look, Martha, as in.
What's your response to that?
I think they're milking it for all it's worth for the money. She doesn't even sound Scottish in that interview. Her accent seems to be varying.
Well, she's not. She's English. She's an actress.
I was going to say it sounds more Lancashire to me. Yeah,
no, she's English. She's an actress. She's putting on the voice for you.
They're milking it for all they're worth. It was the right time to abuse someone all over social media and all over, basically somebody who's not from Loveyland, not from Theatreland, just abused me all over the newspapers. They're happy with themselves.
What do you feel about Richard Gadd?
I think he's psychotic, and I think that anyone going along, being in that play, and doing this to somebody, I find the behaviour outrageous.
He says the whole thing started because he felt sorry for you, and that's why he befriended you.
Your staff said that to me in the waiting room. This is a lot of nonsense. I've got lots of friends.
What did you talk to him about?
I think she's telling the truth now. She's looking dead ahead at him. She's not looking away to the side. I think she's telling the truth now. And the only things that I've seen so far in this interview that make me think she's lying is the email thing. She's definitely done more than what she's saying, in my opinion. What we can do tomorrow, we can always, let me just see how long I've been on. Let me just see how long. This is a 50-minute, I think. We might get it all done, actually. We might get it all done. But there's another one. You get someone to break down the interview or something. So I'd like to see what they think and what if they agree with me on the breakdown. But thank you. Is that pizza out of date or is it? Do you know? Okay, I just wondered. That's all. So we'll see. Don't shut the door though, because the dog. We'll see how we get on. How much I have to keep pausing, but I'd like to see what his breakdown is after and see whether they agree with me or not. Whether they think she's lying, where I think she's telling the truth, and vice versa. But I think she's telling the truth now. And the thing is, again, like I can't emphasize this enough. This guy has admitted taking a hell of a lot of drugs, more drugs in a week than most people would take in their lives. So how on earth can somebody who is off the face on all these drugs, coke, DMT, and all these other things, how on earth can he be taken seriously? Like, I'm not being horrible, but that's just true, isn't it? You know, how can you be taken seriously? Like, if I got completely off my head on something and then I said that all these things happened, it's up to me to prove they happen. It's not up to the person I'm accusing to disprove them, you know?
It was just a holy arms banter. It was
like what? What kind of thing?
What you're going to do with your life, or career stuff, sort of. And I thought he was a stand-up show.
But is it possible he was under the impression that he felt sorry for you?
No, I never got that impression at all. I got the impression that he was all out for himself, wanted to sort of control that bar, very, very inarticulate, very full of himself.
Yeah,
I would never have gone in that bar.
Do you wish you never had?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
How long did you know him for, Richard Gadd?
2-3 months. 2-3 months at maximum. He only worked there on certain days.
And did you always go on the days he worked there?
No, I've been in there on different days having food.
Have other people from the pub contacted you?
Nobody's contacted me.
No one at all?
About this at all, apart from the media.
Richard,
the mainstream media.
I'm just catching the odd bit of chat. Have you seen them then? He still has many. Have you seen these? Has anybody seen copies of these emails? Because I can't get my head around all this. 41,000 emails, I don't believe for 1 minute. And it's gone from 3,900 to 41,000. But I think she sent about 1,000. But even 1,000, I can't decide here. I can't decide on what's going on. No, they weren't both taking drugs. She wasn't taking any drugs. He was. Okay, he was taking really heavy stuff. Like if you watch episode 4 of Baby Reindeer, you'll see some of the stuff that he's given, and it is stuff that most people wouldn't take. And the stuff that he's given is by this producer type guy who he says groomed him and did things to him. And these are the people with money that have got these high end, drugs. Hi Cromwell Bear. I'm not really catching much chat. I'm literally catching the odd bit of chat. So, I'm not being purposely ignoring people. But don't time anybody out. Only if they're coming in trolling like that one. I just blocked that one. Saying I'm a real live Martha. Okay, then that's just pathetic. But if it's a regular bantering, or if it's someone just coming in like that channel did asking a question about Lisa Spanner, don't time people out for that. It's just asking a question. But no, I think it was a mix. I don't know. I think it was a mix up because she took them off everyone. But Lisa's good people, and she came in earlier. I like Lisa.
Media and stalkers on social media.
He says, Richard Gaddy, didn't see you as a villain, but as somebody who is unwell and needs help.
Yeah, well, he maybe should look a bit closer to home.
I agree with that.
To himself as someone who needs help.
She's telling the truth. Look at her eyes.
What, you think he's mentally unwell?
Yes, I think he always was. Whether there was an alleged rape or whether that rape was real or conceived in his mind, I think that would make him more.
I mean, that's a rape that he says happened.
Mm-hmm.
It was a television person. We don't know who it was. Somebody was falsely linked with it, who turns out to have nothing to do with it. But it's a very graphic scene in the drama where he is brutally raped after a lot of drugs are taken.
Yeah.
And he's kind of he appears to be in the drama very self-reflective about himself.
But if you watch the actual show, and if you watch it after this and you hadn't watched it before, it's weird because the show goes from him literally hating this woman to then feeling sorry for her, then hating her, and then feeling sorry for her. It's really bizarre. The whole thing is really strange. It's like he's up and down in his head on what's happening, which to me says that he's very unstable. And if he's making all of this up, and what happened in the hotel is a complete different thing, and that I don't get why that was even included in this show. I really don't get that. It didn't need to be. If anything, it's made him look more of a liar, because if he gets caught out lying about anything what she's done, even if it comes out that she sent 1,000 emails and it gets proven in court that it wasn't 41,000, it was 1,000, and if it gets proven in court that that she didn't go to his house, and then no one's going to believe him about the other stuff. Who's going to believe him about the stuff that he says happened in the hotel when he was drugged? Because they're going to say, well, you lied about that, so you could be lying about that. So they're two separate things. I find it strange that he included that in the play and in the Netflix show, because that's the story in itself. It's all very bizarre. Really is strange.
So he's no angel. He's not perfect. He's made lots of mistakes, and he didn't treat you in his eyes as a villain, like he says, as somebody he felt that you were both slightly lost souls.
I didn't know the rape scene was in the play until this morning. Somebody's daughter had watched it and told me about it. So I was surprised once again. Well, not surprised, actually. I'm rarely surprised by anything he does nowadays. He seems to have written a couple of other shows about this alleged rape, then this one. And we've had no apologies from Netflix or him or nothing. I mean, for someone who says he feels sorry for me, I've had no apology. And I have this Martha character seems to have smashed up a bar, sexually assaulted him in a canal, been to prison. There are a number of other allegations.
And none of that is true.
That's not true.
He says that people shouldn't try to find out the identity of the real people in the drama. Do you give him credit for that?
So this is what he's put in. Looks like a tweet. Hi everyone. People I love, have worked with and admire, including Sean Foley, I don't know who that is, are unfairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate on who any of the real life people could be. That's not the point of our show. Lots of love, Richard. And again, I could have jumped on this when this first came out and it went straight to #1 and I binged it. I could have jumped on this and says, right, come on then, sleuths. Let's find out who the real people are. I didn't do that because I thought, if this is true or not, let's leave the real people alone. So before people start going, oh, look, Penny's exposed. I haven't exposed nothing, yeah? They found this woman, the internet sleuths found this woman weeks ago. And then she voluntarily went onto Piers Morgan's show. So I don't want to hear any of the bullshit when they come out and say that I've exposed this woman and ruining her life, okay? She was put out there. And if I was there, I would have just kept my head down and just denied it was me. This is what I can't get my head around. If she was really convicted and she did all of these things, I don't think she'd be going on bloody Piers Morgan, because anyone can find out now, you know. Any lawyer or anyone can, anyone connected to the police can have a look and see if she's got a criminal record. I'm hoping that we're going to get somewhere, that we're going to get someone somewhere is going to find out whether this person, her, has actually been to prison for 9 months. To saying that, though, I think, wasn't it supposed to be a suspended sentence? I don't know. But I'm seeing more truths from her than I am on him. That's just my opinion at the moment.
Oh no!
He actually tweeted this. People I love, have worked with and admire, including Sean Foley, who was the man wrongly accused of being the rapist, are fairly getting caught up in speculation. Please don't speculate.
They've accused this Sean Foley. But the thing is, if you're going to put it right, Richard Gadd played himself on what he says is real life. He's saying that he was RAP'd by this other man who was a producer, who he worked with. It's obvious that people are going to start, who know Richard, who know who he worked with back then, who was being his original producer and getting him gigs. It's obvious people are going to think that it's somebody they know. You can't put out something and accuse somebody of that and say that this really happened, and they haven't even, he's got his own face. It's not like he's hidden it. Yeah, he's changed his name, but he's played himself. So it's obvious that if that was true, somebody who was working with him at that time, who was getting him jobs, did that. So this Sean Foley, I'm guessing, he ticks every single box, I'm guessing, for who was around him at that time. So now whoever this Sean Foley is getting stick. That's wrong. Whether, this guy could be completely innocent. Richard Gadd could have made that up. We don't know who was off his face on DMT. Like, I'm shocked that Netflix have actually taken up a show without any evidence, and they're taking the word of somebody who was off his tits on drugs. Again, that's just what I think.
Who any of the real life people could be. That's not the point of our show. Lots of love, Richard.
Piers, I'm sorry, I can't see the date of that tweet. I can't actually see
that
any
was,
of it.
That was literally like a few days after it was released.
Right. So. I saw the headline. It was all over BBC Breaking News 2 weekends ago for 4 days. With Martha promoting herself, the character Martha, Jessica promoting herself, and him saying, "Don't speculate." Wow, that's a bit rich now, isn't it? The fans do speculate.
Well, it was almost instantaneous. You were tracked down incredibly quickly.
The Wednesday, the Daily Mail got in touch with me, so that was all over BBC Breaking News Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
I mean, the reason that internet sleuths were able to find out it was you was they found the tweets that you sent him throughout 2014. 10th of May, for example, 2014. Yeah. Richard Gadd, did you get my recorded delivery letter sent to the theatre, sent to arrive bank holiday Monday? So you sent him a letter then? That was that. Sorry, you were raped, something like that. 12th of June, same year, your tweets cheer me up. Your timeline is good. 23rd of September, my curtains need hung badly. We were trying to encourage him because with this first show or something like that. A long time ago. Yes, on the 18th of December, please go and see Richard Gadd's show. It's well written and neurotic. Yeah. The filmed bum shots are the best. Fantastic ass. It's a joke. It was a joke. We were trying to encourage him. Nothing negative, though, about it there. No, because I didn't think he was a complete psychopath who was going to attack me in this way. But the show did involve you. This show here, not that show there. It made no reference to... This was a previous show. It made no reference to you, that show. Which show? The one you're talking about. Yes. Yeah, so just to bear it in mind, I know it's going to get confusing. So he did... Before the Netflix, he had a play called Baby Reindeer. And then before that, he had a play about his alleged RAPE. So what she's saying is around this 2014, 2015, when she tweeted him, he'd come out about this event that happened to him, this incident, and he'd done a play about that. And she was supporting him, saying, well done, whatever. I think the curtain thing is just bizarre. If someone's just come out as being a victim of that, you wouldn't be making sexual innuendos. That's weird. And I think she has been stalking him, in my opinion, as in she's been, tweeting him and the emails, and she sent a recorded delivery letter. That isn't normal behaviour.
I do think there's a lot more to what she's done than she's letting on, but I don't believe half of the stuff that he's saying happened. So he did a play about the alleged incident in the hotel room. Then he did a play about her, and then Netflix have merged the two plays into one show. I find this really bizarre, really, really bizarre. But the fact that Piers Morgan has sat back and allowed her to dig herself deeper holes. I don't know if you've noticed what he's done. It's very clever what he's done. People are saying early on he hasn't done much research. He has sat back, let her answer over and over again, and now he's hitting her with some pieces of evidence, which is good. So he's saying, actually, so he said to her earlier on, did you make the hang the curtains joke? I don't remember. It would have been banter. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I may have tweeted him a couple of times. And now he's coming out with, actually, we've got this here, you know, the date, we've got the evidence. And that's how the sleuths found her. It's pretty easy. They went onto his Twitter. Again, he played himself. He could have very easily got someone to play him, and then nobody would have been able to prove who it was. Gone onto his Twitter, gone back a few years, found out who was tweeting him at the time. That's how they found her. It's pretty easy to do. And I just think that the way it's been done is unfair regardless, because she hasn't had her say. You know, she's had to come on here and be ridiculed. Just what I'm thinking. Don't know. Let's keep going.
So, you know, it's funny this is coming up now. My view is it's all about the money. Yeah, the Martha Barstow Edinburgh Festival thing wasn't making any money. He'd failed as a comedian. He'd failed as an actor. And therefore, let's make some money, sell this to Netflix. I think anyone in their right mind, you had a group of guys on there in their 20s. They don't believe it.
Can I ask you, what was your upbringing like?
I was going to say standard Scottish, singing standard Scottish countryside.
Happy? I mean, happy.
Impoverished, but middle class upbringing, if you like.
Any siblings?
I have a sister. My mother worked incredibly hard. My parents got divorced when I was 9, but she worked like a Trojan.
Are either parents still alive?
My mother is, yeah.
And how does she feel about this?
I've not talked to her about it. I'm hoping she'll have just seen the Scottish headlines and that's it. She's not an internet freak or anything like that.
But she has no idea what's happened to you then?
She will know bits. And she was very, very angry with Laura Walker for doing the original article when I went for parliamentary
You haven't talked to your mother about this?
No, and that may seem strange, but I don't want to worry her. I'll tell her I've been on this show when it airs. I don't want to worry her.
Let me ask you, The Sun reported an interview with Laura Ray, who you've referenced, who accused you of inappropriate behaviour whilst you worked with her. Now, the background to this is that you came into contact with the late Glasgow MP Jimmy Ray, who died aged 78 in 2013, and his solicitor wife Laura, who was 62, when she was a former Labour Party member.
Is this going on to now about her original stalking charge? Because again, she was apparently convicted of stalking some Labour, was it an ex-MP's wife or something? So that didn't make any sense. Impoverished and middle class. It doesn't make. I was thinking that as well, David Welling. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So, excuse me. Now, surely this could be proven if this was real, if she was charged for stalking in the past.
Ray said that she gave Aberdeen University law graduate you did graduate from Aberdeen?
Yes.
With a law degree. A trainee role at a legal firm, McPhail Lawrence Partnership in 1997. Is that true?
It was called L&L Lawrence. I think she forgets the name of her own firm. It was called L&L Lawrence.
But that's all true. She gave you a trainee job.
She lured me away from another firm. She headhunted me from another firm because she needed someone to do employment law. And I'm pretty good at employment law, so. She
said that she had to sack you days later because you were completely incapable of behaving yourself.
I walked. Her staff were really, really rude to me. Most people, half the Labour Party had been up there at one point or another and walked.
She then said that following you leaving, obviously very quickly, that you then harassed her. You were then known as Fiona Muir, obviously, as you said, Muir Harvey. Mrs. Ray said she was so frightened, she issued workers at her firm with personal alarms. You were then served an interim interdict to stop you from contacting the lawyer or her politician husband. Daily Record reported that.
She messed up, I know, and I've still to speak to David about that, the author of that Daily Record article. She didn't. She messed up because I went into the Court of Session, the High Court in Edinburgh, to get countrywide interdicts, and an interdict and an injunction.
Shouldn't we be able to find this though? You know, if we got anyone who can have a look, face, if we got anyone that can, like, I can do it after the stream. If anyone can do it now, if you can just have a quick look and look at her name, Fiona Muir, M-U-I-R, or Fiona Muir-Harvey. Any convictions or anything? I don't know. Yeah, I can have a look after, but I can't look now. It's a shame Jane's not here. If anyone does have a look, let me know. Yeah, the law firm. What was it? We can find out. We can Google it after, Joe. I'm sure we can L&L something, but we can get all of that. Or we can just look at the transcript of this after this stream.
Junction in Scotland and England, because I was going to move to London anyway. She mucked up.
Sorry, you went into court to get them yourself?
Yes, but there was
who?
No need, against Laura Walker and Jimmy Ray.
But she said one was served
It was Laura
on you.
Walker and Jimmy
That's
Ray.
nonsense.
An interim
We have checked this out.
Well, again, there would be a public record of
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. And
You're saying that it was never served?
What we think, she served the initial documents, and then
she did?
she might no. She served the initial documents, and then there was no hearing. It wasn't minuted for a hearing. I said I would defend, but she mucked that up too. She didn't fill up a second initial document. She then didn't minute for decree in absence, so there is no interim.
Thank you, Major
interdict in
General.
Scotland.
Why would two people who have no contact with each other at all, Laura Ray and Richard Gadd, why would they both portray you as a very unpleasant
I don't know why Richard Gadd has, but Laura Walker, it was certainly because I was going for parliamentary selection.
The two different, you get my point, two different people.
Yeah, but Richard Gadd has Googled that. Richard Gadd has used that as
well, that's in the drama.
Show.
Is when they find out that you had previously harassed this family.
I haven't harassed that family.
So we need to have a look at that. So Debbie's just put something. That's interesting. I think we'll cover that. Let me just email that to myself for next time. Thank you for that, hon. Debbie, if you has deleted your Instagram, I went on there yesterday and someone's deleted there's some messages, but was it you who sent me that? I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I don't really use it that much, and I went on there to catch up, and I don't know if you've got rid of it. I don't know. Was that you, hon? Just let me know if it's somebody else. Thanks for that. Yeah, I've got that article now. Thank you. We'll look at that for the next one.
I didn't harass that family. And also I worked for in 1987, 88. The parliamentary selection wasn't until 2000. He Googled up the article because I knew he'd done that. I never went back to the Holy Arms. He was spreading it around Camden that I was a stalker. So
you've never married?
No.
Have you had relationships
boyfriends? Yeah.
with men?
Oh, it's going to
I mean,
the
if you
right.
don't mind me being pure,
I'm heterosexual.
Yeah, I mean, how many relationships have you had?
I told the staff that relationships were out of bounds. A lot more than Richard Gadd has, I would say.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
Quite a few.
Right.
Well, I don't know if he had a lot. I don't know. I mean,
Well, how do you know that you had more than him? She's just said I'd have more than Richard Gadd had, but I don't know how much he had. What? This is bizarre. Yeah. I think this bit's bullshit now. Okay, I don't believe she's had loads of boyfriends. She's never been married. She's never had any children, and she's what 58, and she's still single. I wonder what it is. I thought it was you. There was like you, and there was about 3 people that messaged me on Instagram, and I went to reply. I wonder who it was then. Don't know. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Space Cat. Yeah, please hit the like button, guys. I'm going to finish this today, and I think tomorrow night we'll break down the after thing. Anyway, yeah. So they are everywhere, but you can tell that when she's lying, it goes to the right, and when she's looking straight ahead and slightly to the left, telling the truth. I don't believe she had lots of relationships. That bit I think is lies. Yeah, that bit. She looks very uncomfortable here. This is where she's struggling with. Some of the things that she's saying are true, though. I don't think she went to his house. I don't believe it was 41,000 emails. And I do think that he's psychotic. That's just what I think she's telling the truth about.
Now you're going public, then the men that you've dated over the years will see this.
Yeah.
They'll be aware of it. They'll hear you.
I don't think if your next question is going to be, am I stalking them? I think the answer is going to be no.
Well, no, I just wonder how do you think they would view you?
I think they are going to think what I think about Richard Gere, that he's completely off his head. And I'm not worried about the current one because he's a lawyer and he.
So you currently have a boyfriend?
Yeah.
He's a lawyer?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
In London?
Doesn't matter where he is.
I'd
rather.
No, I understand, but how long have
5
you?
years. 5 years.
You've been in a 5-year relationship.
Yeah, so I don't.
So what does he think?
I don't want to drag him in. He thinks this is horrendous. All of my lawyer friends do. All of my professional friends do. Other people do. People are being really sympathetic. People I don't know are saying things like, "Are you getting hounded in the street?" People are being really, really nice.
I don't believe
anyone who does know about this.
Here's the thing. I don't know the truth. You do. And you've been emphatic in the number of denials you're making here.
That's right.
But many of those things that I've put to you can be proven.
You're talking about emails and an email trail thing.
All that.
All of that. You're obsessed with. Sorry, I don't mean to be horrible.
I'm not obsessed with anything.
You've gone on at length for a good 10 minutes about the emails.
Well, only because the emails.
Because it's a vast number.
Well, there's a huge number and voice messages. The voice messages he's kept, apparently.
Right. So I don't think she's done the 41,000. I really don't. And that is why she keeps on focusing. Again, this is what liars do. They'll pick out the bits that are true, and they will focus on that because they know that when they're telling the truth on that thing that they know is true, they can hide it really well with their face. Okay. So do you see what I'm saying? So she's going to focus on the things that she believes or she knows are true. So she's going to say, you're focusing on the emails because she knows that she didn't send 41,000 emails. So she could pass a lie detector on that. Like a lie detector will ask you things that are true to get a baseline. So she's saying, did you send 41,000 emails? No, I didn't. And she's telling the truth. So she's going to keep going back to these stupid things, and the things that she did do, she's going to try and smooth them over and change the subject back to the things that she knows that she didn't do. That's what I think she's up to here. But she's failing because when she was talking about she's got all these lawyer friends, I think that's lies. And I think that the boyfriend of 5 years as well. I don't believe that she's got a boyfriend of 5 years. I'm sorry, but if you're 58, you would have been married by now, surely. I don't believe that. But I might be wrong, I might be wrong. She might be all loved up, who knows, with all her lawyer friends.
And there is
maybe taping me in the holy arms. I don't know if it's got any voicemail.
But if he has 350 voice messages and it's you,
it doesn't mean the drama is true.
But is it possible he's got 350 voice messages?
I doubt that very much.
I want to listen to him.
I just don't think so.
You doubt it?
Hang on a minute. He's saying he's got 350 voice messages, and she just said, I doubt that very much. Now, she's really, really messing up here. Okay. Nothing wrong, Joe. You can be Joe, trust me. Yeah, but she's saying she's been with someone for 5 years, though. If you've been with someone for 5 years and you're 58, surely by that point you would have ended up settling down. I'm not saying everybody does. Yeah. Some people don't want to, but 58, a boyfriend of 5 years, you'd think you'd settle down, wouldn't you? I know I would. If I were 58 and had a boyfriend for a year, I'd be sticking a ring on it. I'd be like, bloody hell. I don't want to get to 60 and I've still never had been married or whatnot. But not everyone's the same, She might like the single life. I just sense that she's lying, okay? Okay, anyway, yeah, I'm not having digs at single people, okay? Moving on. So I think she's panicking now, and I think she's lying now. And the way that he said then, so if Richard Gadd produced 350 voice messages, what would you say? And she said, I don't think he, what was it? Let me just listen to what she said again. Hold on. I need to listen again.
Proven.
You're talking about emails and an email trail thing.
All that.
All of that. You're obsessed with, sorry, I don't mean to be horrible.
I'm not obsessed with anything.
You've gone on at length for a good 10 minutes about the emails.
Well, only because the emails...
Because it's a vast number.
Well, there's a huge number and voice messages. The voice messages he's kept apparently, and there is
maybe typing me in the holy arms. I don't know if he's got any voicemail.
But if he has 350 voice messages and it's you,
it doesn't mean the drama is true.
But is it possible he's got 350 voice messages?
I doubt that very much. I just don't think so.
You doubt it?
That.
Yeah, I doubt it. I mean, unless
wouldn't he be
taping me?
I mean, if you've never really contacted him,
if you had or you hadn't,
he could have been taping me in the holy arms, though.
But if he's got 350,
I've got contacts.
but if these are on his phone,
yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're on a phone, tablet, whatever they're on. I've not contacted.
But I'm curious,
him.
why would there even be a possibility of him having that number of voice messages from you?
Because he's crazy. He wants to make this up. I mean, I've not phoned the guy. I don't have his number.
Yeah, but you're not sure that he hasn't got those.
I think the only explanation for having a voicemail from me would be taping me in the holy arms. That's the only place.
Or that you've left messages on his phone.
That's the other explanation.
So she's now trying to do some serious damage control because she knows there's a chance she's lying here, right? And she's thinking to herself, right, worst case scenario, these voicemails get released, right? So what can I do to limit the damage? She's doing damage control. So then she's dropping in the little nuggets. She's dropping in. He could have recorded me in the pub, so that if they ever get released, she can say, "Oh, well, I did say that he could have recorded me in the pub." Yeah, she know this. She's lying here, in my opinion. Okay, I might be wrong. I'm just saying, she's lying here, in my opinion. She knows she's left voicemails. I don't know if it's 350, but she's lying and she's pretending that she doesn't know what a voicemail is. And that it's been recorded, and so when they come out, she's definitely gonna say, "Oh, he's recorded me talking." She's getting ahead of it. She's doing damage control. I don't like Piers Morgan either. This isn't about that though. This is about this show. I had a lot of people asking me to do this, and you're getting people breaking this down that have never even watched it. At least I've watched the thing.
Just didn't happen.
You can't be sure.
Eyeballs.
I can't be sure because I didn't have his number.
Right. You just said you weren't sure if these were your voice messages.
Yeah, what I mean is somebody could be taping me. Somebody could have taped me in the holy arms on a dictaphone or something like that.
Here's my point to you: is these are easily provable things.
Yeah.
He's either got them or he hasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll be asking for disclosure of that. But
and the emails, obviously, there'll be an IP address, and that if that leads to you.
Yeah. I mean, my point is though, even if that were true,
yeah, he's still a good. I don't like Piers Morgan. All right, just saying. He was named on the flight logs to that island. Just saying, don't like him, but he's doing well here. He's letting her speak. He's doing well. He's very good at interviewing. I haven't watched him for years. He never used to be. But for this interview, I haven't watched him for a long time because I couldn't stand watching him because he's talk over people. He's doing really well. And he's leading her into quite a few things. And then he's sort of dropping little bits of truth and watching her squirm. He's doing a very, very, very good job here. Hello, North Country Girl. Do you like it? I did a lot of this with the Nicola Bulley case. Are you in the US, Grim Adam? Did a lot of this, I'd watch interviews and break them down. Yeah, I do like this sort of stuff. Like I can do review shows and stuff as well, like because I am really into watching stuff on Netflix. I'm mostly horror, but I do watch a lot of stuff, thrillers and mysteries and stuff like that. So I could do like a breakdown of stuff, but this is different, isn't it? Because this has gone from being a viral show to this other thing. Hello, Jane. I was saying, I hope Jane's okay. I miss her, but I said she doesn't have to be here. She's not obliged. Right, here we go. And again, I'm having to pause because of fair use. All right, so just you can go and watch the full interview. It's up to you. I keep dropping the link. Oh, it's pinned. The full interview is pinned if you want to go and watch it. Okay, I'm not monetized. I'm not taking any money from this. So hopefully Piers will let me continue using it under fair use stroke fair dealing laws in the UK.
I didn't lunge at him across the bar. I didn't sexually assault him in a canal. I didn't go to jail.
I understand.
So
but here's my point to you. Here's my point to you, Fiona. And I'm not trying to catch you out. I'm not trying to trap you. I'm genuinely fascinated by this story. I watched the drama. I saw them declare it at the start as a true story. And I've seen the interviews since with all various people. And it's clearly a very complex situation, this. But unless I'm mishearing you, I think what you're saying is there is a possibility that you send a lot of emails.
No,
and a lot of voice messages,
I didn't say
but that it doesn't mean that you did the more serious things.
Yeah, I am not saying at all that I sent loads of emails. You maybe misheard, play back the interview. What I'm saying is a handful at most. If I did, congratulations about the show.
But if he does have 350 voice messages.
I know that he doesn't.
And it's your voice.
He doesn't.
And everyone can now hear your voice.
Unless he was taping me in the holy arms.
Or he just kept them on his phone.
I didn't phone him. You sound unconvinced, but
no, I'm not. Honestly,
I mean, what?
No. So it's your point that are you challenging him to reveal this evidence?
No, I would challenge him to leave me alone.
Because you're calling him a liar, and you're calling Netflix accomplice.
I didn't use those words. I said the story and the play, the Netflix show is not true.
No, but if they say that you sent 41,000 emails,
well, they are completely wrong.
All 744
They're
tweets.
Completely wrong.
So they are lying.
They are lying. Yes, okay, yeah. In effect, he is lying and they are lying. And in order for a dramatization to be true, it's got to be, the only defenses are veritas, I'm telling the truth, or the whole drama needs to be true. They have built it as a true story. So
I still can't believe, I'm still reeling from the dictaphone comment. She's actually trying to say that she doesn't understand what a voice note is. And the only way you can have voice messages is if you use a dictaphone or you record somebody talking in a pub. You could not make this shit up. She is really, really digging this hole really deep now. I'm just, yeah. I think what we'll do tomorrow, we'll finish this today. I was going to do it in 2 hours, but we haven't only got about 50 minutes left. We'll finish this today, and then I'll hop on tomorrow. What day is it tomorrow now? Thursday. Yeah, I'll hop on tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, and we'll watch some of the breakdown that his guy does. Got to be careful because of fair use, right? We can watch a bit of it, and then I'll give my opinion fully. But yeah, and if you haven't watched it and watching this tonight has piqued your interest, go watch it and then let me know.
It's he, and it's not. It's blatantly not. Even if the email thing was true, the rest is not. So
why would you qualify that, Fiona?
Sorry, why would I watch?
Why would you suddenly qualify even if it's true about the emails?
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Right, but when you say even if the emails were true,
I didn't send him 41.
It doesn't mean the more serious stuff.
She didn't send 41,000. I don't think she did. I said that all along, but she did send a lot. Hello, Lilybell.
Let me rephrase that.
That's really what you're saying, right? I mean, I don't want to force you into saying anything that's not actually true, but it seems to me that it may be possible that you have communicated all this stuff with him, but that doesn't mean you did the more serious things.
It doesn't
mean
true.
It doesn't mean you attacked his girlfriend. It doesn't mean you smashed up a bar. It doesn't mean you did any of those things or threatened anybody. It just, yes, you had a relationship with this guy, and you did contact him a lot.
I knew this guy. I didn't contact him a lot. I've never said that in this interview at all.
No. But but interestingly, for me, as an interviewer, and I'm just trying to get to the truth. You understand?
No,
I honestly not trying to
see that. It's your show.
I'm not trying to trip you up. I'm just trying to get to the truth.
I see that.
He has put his version out there, and the world has watched it.
Absolutely.
Millions and millions of people around the world have had Richard Gadd's version.
I know.
And I'm simply saying to you that you have a chance here, Fiona, I think, and take this any way you want, but you have a chance here to concede that some of these things might be possible, but that doesn't mean the more serious things.
Yeah,
happened.
I mean, what I'm saying is
because the more serious stuff we know is serious, right? If you were
if you were in the jail or something,
if you were a violent stalker, or if you'd had a previous situation where you got this interim incident, which we know was served on you.
No, it was not. Sorry to interrupt there. No, she has repeatedly maintained this over 25 years. I checked with the Sheriff Clark. Another lawyer checked with the Sheriff Clark. We think that the previous scenario happened. She does not have an interim interdict. I think she's quite wrong.
Okay.
If the Sheriff Clark can produce that and say she didn't muck up and minuted for decree, why was I not served an interim injunction?
If Richard Gadd is watching this, what's your message to him?
Leave me alone, please. Get a life, get a proper job. I am horrified at what you've done.
And you will categorically be taking legal action?
Absolutely, against both him and Netflix.
You said your boyfriend's a lawyer, so this can be done.
He's not doing it. No, I'm not doing it. Somebody else is.
Have you instructed lawyers?
We've instructed them in part, but we want to explore all the options out there. There are a number of people to sue. We can't all be in 10 courts all at once. So
who else are you planning to sue?
The Daily Mail. Anyone that's saying this is true and harassing me and that kind of thing. We have not had time to do everything.
If the investigation, if you sue,
she's going to struggle with suing the Daily Mail because they're just repeating secondhand stuff. You're going to struggle with that. If she's gonna go for anyone, she's going to have to go for Netflix and him. Hang on. There's fireworks going off. Do you know, I think Al's forgot to feed the hedgehogs, you know. I don't know if it's a gunshot or whether it's fireworks. And unfortunately, we live in the countryside and we do hear guns, but not normally at this time of night. They shoot animals. It's horrible. There's a gun shop at the end of the road. I don't think they'll be shooting animals at this time of night. I just need to leave this run a minute and just phone Al because I don't think he's fed the hedgehogs and they will not be happy.
And there's discovery.
I'm just going to mute myself.
It turns out that 41,000 emails did come from a device belonging to you. How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't be suing if I thought there were 41,000 emails out there.
You understand how easy it is to find them.
I understand completely.
And that if they did exist and you're categoric that they didn't, it would obviously.
It wouldn't blow the whole case. It wouldn't blow the case against Netflix and it wouldn't blow the case against him.
No, you might well have
making out it's a true story.
No.
If you see what I mean, I'm back to my original position.
I understand, and I understand that it's obviously put your life into a very difficult position.
It's very
and their central claim that they made all this effort not to lead to you being identified, I don't think stands water.
I don't think it stands water.
To me, it's pretty. I could have listened. I've been a journalist 40 years. I could have discovered it was you in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once I'd watched.
Yes, I agree. I discovered it was me when I saw the BBC breaking news Baby Reindeer show at the Edinburgh Festival when I was Googling up just the news that day or the weather or something. And this came up and he was holding up a placard or a newspaper article, MP's wife stalker. All you need to do is Google that. Then I saw the name of the show and I thought, bloody hell, what's he up to? And I tried to get a friend to go see the show because she was based in Edinburgh, but she was on holiday. Nobody I know had seen that show either. So I was really shocked. I was very upset for 2-3 days. And then the general plan of action among my close friends was, look, just let him get on with things. He's not going to be that damaging. You don't really know him. This will go away.
When did you last have any contact with him?
Famous last words. Years ago.
Do you remember when?
Years ago. No.
Leave it open a bit.
I left the Holy Arms, didn't go back, and he was calling me a stalker and things. There were various things happening in the Holy Arms. Other women were warning me about them and everything. Yeah.
About him?
About him and others with bad conduct.
In relation to the 106 letters that he and Netflix say you sent, well, here's my point. You've admitted sending him one, and that presumably was a handwritten letter.
Could it be? Are you thinking I was maybe mistaken, that I maybe did? And
No. I'm just saying if we accept that the one.
So we've got to keep pausing it because of fair use. We've got 11 minutes left. She's definitely getting a bit. If you look at the bit that I missed, that I didn't pause it on, did you notice, Highlander? Did you notice when she said I categorically did not send 41,000 emails? That is the part where you can tell that the curtains were open. It's pitch black outside, isn't it? Hi, Candice, love. That bit she's telling the truth on. Some of this she's telling the truth, I believe. Hi, Carlos.
One that you admit to sending is in your own handwriting. He has another 105 letters in your handwriting.
Nonsense.
Are you prepared for him to show that one?
He's maybe forged things. I mean, people forge a lot of things.
You think he could successfully write 105 letters to himself?
Well, I certainly didn't.
No, but you admit to sending one. My point is, if it turns out the other 105 are exactly the same handwriting, wouldn't that point to maybe...
we would obviously bring in handwriting experts. I didn't do it.
You only ever sent one letter?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't sent that guy 106 letters.
Do you still email people?
What do you mean?
Do you send emails?
Yeah.
Do you have the same email address you've always had?
I had 6 at one point.
Why?
Because I like to keep people on different phones and different emails.
6 different email accounts?
With that, I like to keep people on different phones and different emails. Now, she said earlier that she wasn't very tech savvy and that she never sent any emails from the phones, that she sent them from a computer. And now she's saying she had different phones. For someone that isn't very tech savvy, we're going back nearly 10 years now as well, remember? Yeah. Waiting about the BBC. Doesn't do with the BBC. If you haven't watched this show and you don't know what I'm talking about and you don't want to, you're better off not watching this show, because it won't. You're going to get people coming in and don't know what's going on, and they're asking all these questions. I'm not going to be interacting with chat much at all. Okay, this is purely about this show and this interview tonight. It's not about what I believe or not. Okay.
Maybe 4. I think it's 4 to 6. Yeah, it's easier. It's easier. So you have some for your utilities, some for close friends, whatever. Yeah.
The 6 is a lot.
Is it?
I don't know anybody with 6 email addresses.
You don't know many people then. I know people with 4 or 6 emails address.
Or was it 4 or 6?
And phones. I can't remember. Lots of phones, she said.
How many do you use today?
I had 4 phones. I've got 1 today, but I only email select friends.
And you have 4 phones?
Yeah, 2 broke. They were very, very old. 1 was brand new and broke, and it's still to be returned to the shop. I like keeping people on separate phones.
She's lying.
And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something. But if you've got somebody on about your electricity bill, or somebody on about some work or something, it's nice to keep it separate, So I didn't do that in Scotland. You didn't have to, but the volume of calls.
Do you think, Fiona? Do you think if somebody did send someone, 41,000 emails,
I think that's excessive. Obviously, yeah.
Would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Well, yes and no.
So if someone sent someone 41,000 emails, would that mean that you were stalking someone? Yes and no. Wow. I so hope that Piers can interview Richard Gadd. I would love to see him being questioned the way that he's being that Piers is doing this questioning on Richard Gadd as well. Hello, MK Ultra Love. Yeah, if anyone comes in asking different questions about different things, this is purely about this show. Okay, this is not about whether you like Piers Morgan or not. It's not about that. Okay, refer to the banner. This is purely breaking down this interview. All right, it's not about whether I believe or I like anything. It's just about what do we think of this woman. This is for people that have been watching this show on Netflix. Simples.
Oh, I mean, it could be it could be your wife. It could be you're maybe sending emails every day about the kids or something like that. I don't know. 41,000 is a lot. That's how many a day? My maths isn't working this time of night. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends. They could have been friends for 50 years or something.
Was he ever your friend, Richard Gadd?
No.
This is interesting. I can't. If Al's listening, I don't know. I don't think he is. When me and Al, we were talking about this the other day. When me and Al first got together, when we met online. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but we didn't meet on one of these dating apps. We met in a car group, something to do with because we both were into our cars and we're going car shows. I'm going back like 12 or I don't know how many years, a long time, 13 years. And I remember when he was we were texting each other and he was on about this the other day, and he will know the number, and he was using a work phone, and he got called into his office one day, and I said, what are you doing with this work phone? You've texted this woman. And there was a massive there's like £60 worth of text or something. I can't remember the exact amount. It is possible when you first meet someone and you're flirting with them day and night, you can send a lot of texts, but emails is different. Like a text message, I'm going back to before we started using WhatsApp. I think we started using WhatsApp around 2012, 2013. I'm going back to 2011 now. 2010, 2011. And you can easily send a lot of texts, a few words text. Your text can go hundreds of thousands a week, but emails, and there's no way anyone could do 41,000 emails in what? Was it 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months? But text messages, you can do a lot, especially in the olden days before WhatsApp. WhatsApp's just, you remember the old days of SMS, when that's all that people used. Like now, you probably don't do any text messages. It's just a WhatsApp thread or a whatever, Telegram or whatever you use. Everything's changed now, isn't it? But she's acting like she doesn't know anything about anything. She's acting like she only thinks she can do what was it? Dictaphone or recording in a pub with a dictaphone. She doesn't know what a voicemail is, and yet she said she's got 6 phones. Fuck off. She's fucking lying.
No. Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
Yeah, but banter's one thing. Scottish banter down here is quite kind of welcome. It's not really Fun City, is it? It's not Jokey City.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes. Is that a serious question?
Yeah.
No.
It's not a question of.
Did you just say
by
yes?
his own admission,
He
has said that he led you on at times.
I gave him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend. I gave him the brush off big time, I think. Subtly so, but the bottom line is, I think this is behind him. No, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy little boys without jobs. That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but,
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix
you had a job.
series.
It worked in a bloody
And
pod.
like me, they will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed.
When you said, "Did you love him?" Did she say yes and then say no? I missed that. That was weird. I knew what. Yeah, she said he asked her something about. I'm going to have to listen to that bit again. I'm sorry. Something about he asked her if with a big green spot on his face. What does that mean? Is this some sort of Scottish banter or something? Okay, I'm going to start this section again because it's split into chapters, which is handy.
Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
Yeah, but banter's one thing. Scottish banter down here
I've gone
is
past it, I think.
quite kind of welcome. You know, it's not really the shop. I like keeping people on separate phones as well. And maybe that makes me a maniac or a stalker or something. But if you've got somebody on about your electricity bill or somebody on about some work or something, it's nice to keep it separate, you know. So I didn't do that in Scotland. You didn't have to, but the volume of calls
Do you think,
here
Fiona, do you think if somebody did send someone 41,000 emails,
I think that's excessive, obviously, yeah.
Would that mean someone's stalking someone?
Well, yes and no. I mean, it could be it could be your wife. It could be you're maybe sending emails every day about the kids or something like that. I don't know. 41,000 is a lot. That's how many a day? My maths isn't working this time of night. But it's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. That doesn't necessarily mean they're stalking somebody. They could be great friends. You know, they could have been friends for 50 years or something.
Was he ever your friend, Richard Gadd?
No. Staff asked me that as well. No, I don't think so.
You had a lot of banter with him.
Yeah, but banter's one thing. Scottish banter down here is quite kind of welcome. You know, it's not really fun city, is it? It's not jokey city.
Were you ever in love with him?
Yes.
What?
That's a serious question.
Yeah.
No.
She said yeah.
No.
It's not a question of, by his own admission, he has said that he led you on at times. And he clearly
I gave him the brush off. He asked me to sleep with him with a big green spot in his face one day. I said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not interested.
He asked you to do what?
He asked me to sleep with him. He said, would I like my curtains fixed? And I laughed. And he said, that's a euphemism. Do you want me to come home with you? And I said, I've got a boyfriend. I gave him the brush off
a boyfriend.
Big time, I think. You know, it was subtly so, but the bottom line is, I think this is behind him. No, I don't fancy him. I don't fancy little boys without jobs. That sounds awful. That sounds really, really callous, but, you know.
People will watch this who've watched the Netflix series. And like me, they will be trying to work out where the truth lies. It seems to me that either you're innocent in the way that you've claimed to be, and you've been horribly defamed here. I think at the very least, the Netflix duty of care and Richard Gadd's duty of care has been a spectacular failure.
I agree.
Right. Regardless of anything else, regardless of your culpability of anything, the duty of care has failed because people identified you incredibly quickly. So they've made this what they say is a true story, and everyone's worked out it's you, and the picture they paint is of a completely crazed stalker ruining a man's life. Albeit he accepts that some of his behavior may have led the person on.
Can I ask a question? Do you happen to know how much he's made out of this Netflix thing?
I would imagine several £1 million.
Yes, I would say 3 to 4 million. A lawyer I know well thought he was a wee nobody, and he suggested 750 to 100,000. I said, no, I think you're looking more about 3 or 4 million. And I think the more he publicizes, it goes up. According to how much it's streamed. I don't know what the contract they signed. I think he's done bloody well out of defaming.
Do you resent that?
I don't resent any Scot getting on. This is not what this is about.
But he's effectively making money out of what he says.
He's making money out of
what
my
he says
misery,
is you stalking him.
Yeah, he's making money out of untrue facts. He's been the ultimate misogynist. The actress was also not appealing for calm. He was appealing for calm. I think he did that to sort of stir things up more. I think they knew exactly what they were doing. And I think your staff were talking about Martha, the sequel or something like this. It's just completely
That's what people are hinting at.
It's completely crazy. Well, your staff put that to me and put to me, should I write a book about this? Well, I've got other things to do, but it's a possibility.
You got a law degree.
Yeah.
Law degree. So you're obviously very bright. How did you do at school?
I've got a photographic memory. I was top of the school, apart from the science.
Which school was that?
Balfour High. I went to the science. Person got the most marks because you can get 99%.
How many O and A levels did you end up with?
I got 6 hires, 2 SYSs, and they were all sort of, most were A band ones, which was when the A band one was top of the thing.
And with your law degree, what grade did you get?
Not bad. I mean, all right. I just did an ordinary degree and then a diploma in legal practice.
Well, what grades did you get for?
All right grades. But I went out partying. I didn't do an honest degree, so just bog standard grades.
What degree did you did a law degree? Or?
I did a law degree with 13 subjects, 13 law subjects. So it wasn't the CPE or anything, which I also have from down here. But it was 13 law subjects.
This is from Aberdeen University.
Yeah.
So what degree did you end up with?
A law degree, and then I did a politics degree after that.
And what grade
did you get?
Politics,
women's studies. I did substantially better in that because I did more work. I think in our day, when you went to university, you did.
There's a reason you say you got a photographic memory, but what grade did you get?
All right grades. I mean, not top of the year or anything.
No,
but all right
grades. When you do a degree, you get a...
Yeah, you're asking me what marks I got for 13 subjects. I can't remember.
Well, no, you end up with it. Did you get a first-class degree?
Oh, no. Well, I said I didn't do an honest degree. I wanted to go out and practice, so it was an ordinary degree I did.
Right, but you can't remember how you did.
I did all right. I didn't do top of the year.
But the other graduates at the same time, they'd all remember you.
Some of them remember me. One of them did incredibly well. He's a High Court judge. Some people didn't do well. I think the general idea in the 80s was we didn't really do much work. That sounds absolutely awful. But, that was kind of the 80s.
If it came to it, would you take a lie detector test?
Yeah.
Did she see how she looked to her left then? So that means she would happily do that. So she's basically saying that she's very, very happy to take a lie detector test, which tells me again that some of this is true, what she's saying. I think a lot of this is true, what she's saying. Not all of it, obviously. I'm not born yesterday. I can see that he's telling some truth and she's telling some truth. But I genuinely believe that a lot of the stuff that he's saying that she did, she didn't do. And I don't think she went to his house. I really don't. I think she was telling the truth on that one. I don't know about what you guys think. We're nearly there now anyway. We're at the 51 minutes, so we've managed to get it all in.
Possibly, yeah. I would need to consult other lawyers about that.
If we set one up, you would do it.
A lie detector test for what?
The police, as you know, the police use them. They're just an indication.
They use them for mass murder and things like that.
Well, no, they use them in many cases just to determine whether they think someone's telling the truth.
They don't use them that much. I know you've done the programs of women behind bars and things. I confess, I think I've just seen one, but it's not used that much.
Well, look, I'll be honest with you.
I can't have a thing.
Since you mentioned it, I've done a lot of crime interviews.
She said, and now it's gone to our
way worse offences than what you've been accused of.
Yeah, I haven't. I know you have.
Way more mass murderers, serial killers, and so on. And they're all, I've got to say, almost all of them are very good liars. Could it be, people to be asking this, watching you thinking, either she's genuinely innocent here, or she's a terrible liar who is capable of all of these things.
I don't lie, and
eyes to the right.
I tell white lies if I absolutely have to. Like when my 94-year-old ex-neighbour was dying, we all knew she was dying, and I'd phoned her in the hospital the night before, and I lied and said, have a good sleep, everything's going to be fine, and that, so I'll tell a white lie like that when somebody clearly needed some rest. And
how many times did you meet Richard Gere?
Don't know.
What would you guess?
5, 6, maybe 5, 6 times.
That's it.
Yeah.
In your life.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think it's come to this? If that's all true.
I think he wanted to make money. I think he picked on somebody. There was a backstory there with that stalker article out there, right? So stalking's in vogue, going to prison's in vogue. What do writers say, or English lecturers or something, write about what you know.
And to people who are watching, look down the barrel of that camera. To people who are watching this and who still doubt you, what do you say to them?
I think you should watch this. I think you should look at the number of articles that Richard Gere and Jessica, the actress, have done, and how Netflix and he have promoted this. I think you should look at him saying, I am some sort of mental case, and judge for yourselves, because I can't change your mind on this. I can just rebut what has been said. You need to make up your own minds. But my mind is made up. He's a liar. And my friends say likewise.
Fiona Harvey, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
There we go, guys. There we go. We've done the whole thing. We've been out just over 2 hours because I've had to keep pausing it. The link is in if you want to go and watch the entire thing. So we just stop the screen. There you go. The link is pinned to the full interview if you want to go and watch it. If you want to go and watch that interview, if you want to go and watch Baby Reindeer, it is streaming currently on Netflix. I think it's still #1. It was the other day. I don't know about today, but it's been doing really, really well. It is a good series. Like, honestly, I usually am horror. I'm really big into horror, science fiction, mystery, thriller, gizmo. But, you know, I do like comedy sometimes, and I will watch the odd sort of crime thing. And I didn't know what that was. I was like, what is it? And then I looked on like IMDb, like I was saying earlier, and everyone was saying they couldn't give it a genre. Just watch it. Don't look at any more reviews. Just watch it. 10 out of 10. So I did that, and I was hooked within the first 10 minutes. So I want to see him interviewed. I genuinely believe that after watching that, I still think that he's told a lot of lies. I think that she's telling some truth. I think she's telling some truth. I think she's telling some lies. Gizmo, hello, baby. Are you in a cheeky mood? Yes, you are. It's gonna get. Sorry, my puppy's just coming. Are you in a cheeky mood? I think he's gonna start playing. Hang on. Are you in a cheeky mood? Yeah. Yeah. You're licking the microphone. Yeah, Gizmo's here. Silly boy. So I think that she's telling some lies, and I don't believe she sent the 41,000 emails. I don't believe she went to his house. I do believe that she did send some emails, but I think that the fact that he is self-admitted to being on DMT and all these other drugs, I think that kind of like says a lot, Oh, Gizmo's talking now. Mama. He's talking. Can you hear this? Are you just pumped? Mama. Can you hear my dog? He's talking. Mama. Mama, good boy. Mama. 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 Mama, good boy. Mama. 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 Can you hear this, folks? Did you hear that? I don't know whether you picked any of that up, but he's just been talking. My puppy talks. Don't know if you heard that. Crazy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I've got through tonight because I've banned any talk of that what happened yesterday, which is why I don't want anyone talking about it. Otherwise, I couldn't have done this stream. Okay. Yeah, my baby. Did you hear him? Yeah, he can say Momo as well, Space Cat. He can say Momo. He can say Mama and Momo. That's him talking. Yeah, he can say Momo. Gizmo, you say Momo. 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 He's chewing his new antler again, so I won't get nothing out of him now. But yeah, he can talk. Gizmo is my puppy, Grim Madam. He's an 8-month-old, almost 9-month-old Japanese chin. And he is a very intelligent little dog, and he talks. He actually talks. I've caught him on camera. He's a little pup, but he's not a normal dog. Okay, so depending on how things are tomorrow, say I did tonight without talking about anything. If I start talking about anything to do with what's going on in my real world, which I've mentioned last night, I can't even say it because I start crying. I'm not going to talk about it. Hello, happy father. It's been a while, but people have been letting you know in chat. Okay, that's how I've got through it, by not talking about it. So if I hopefully I'll come on tomorrow night. If I do, again, I don't want to talk about it, because talking about it will just make me not be able to do the stream. And I think that's it, really. Let me know what you think tomorrow night. Let me just quickly. How you doing, happy father? It's been a while. Is everything okay? Let me just get this screen back up, because thanks for coming over, Grim Adam. Are you new, are you, to the channel? So if we go to his videos, Piers Morgan. Oh,
Would you believe her?
Wrong button. Wrong button. My mistake. Okay. So we have. There's the interview there, and then a day later, he did this here. Okay. Now,
would you believe her?
I'm just going to pause that. Tomorrow night, we've got 40 minutes. She's lying, she's truthful, or has a disorder. Baby Reindeer interview verdict. So, Fiona Harvey's interview with Piers Morgan has created shockwaves across the globe, as the real Martha from Netflix show Baby Reindeer claims she never stalked show creator Richard Gadd. Piers and his panel. So we've got a contributor, Esther I can't say all these names. So basically, he's got a load of people. He's got lawyers on, doctor, a psychologist, a critical thinker, dissect the controversial interview. So this is interesting. So tomorrow night, we're going to break down that 40 minutes, providing that they don't tell me off for using tonight's content. Like, I'm not monetized anyway. He talks. Did you hear him, Jackie? He does talk. He says mama and he says Momo. And he said good boy as well once. I've recorded it. It's on my channel. Hello, Mr. Button. So anyway, there you go. What's wrong, Mr. Button? I don't understand what that means. Like I say, I've not really been interactive in chat tonight. I've been focusing on that. We're just at the end now. But there, so tomorrow night I'll be listening to that and getting their view, and then I don't know, let me know in the comment section underneath the video. Oh, so tired. If you have watched it or not, and what you think, because I think that breaking it down tonight, there's truth on both, and I think she was lying more towards the middle and the end. She was lying a lot. And again, I'm not qualified, but I can usually spot, especially when I'm looking at someone. Like, it's harder over the phone, but when you're looking at somebody, you can usually tell when they're lying or not. And she was lying quite a bit. Anyway, thanks for being here, and I'll say good night and have a good one, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Lots of love, God bless, and remember to hit the like as well if you don't mind, or the dislike if you don't like it. Take care. Bye bye.